Hey, welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Honish, Miguel Antonio Barragan, Andrew Labouche. See, you went last that time, Andrew. Eventually, it was going to happen. We've gone years now with you being first. We got to rotate it. Everybody's got to rotate around. I think Miguel needs to go first from now on and really confuse people. So when they look at the picture and they go, I thought that was Andrew. None of them are Lee. Correct. None of them look like me. Always work it out. We do a show on boxing. You can go to our website, boxingtonight.io. There you can follow me and Miguel. We put lots of content up for some ridiculous reason, probably just to entertain you boxing fans on a daily basis or on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. Follow him at Fight Fiend Migs. Follow me at Lee Honish. You can actually follow my blog, LeeHonish.io. There I chop up and put up things from concerts to roller coasters to boxing events to interview. I think this week we're going to give everybody Sean Porter.
All right.
Oh, that was a good one. It was fun.
It was.
Sean Porter was fun. He
He
played ball and he lied. I want to do the GQ lie detector with Sean Porter and do that same interview again. I don't think he's going to pass. Once around the horn, how you doing, Miguel? How is your northwest side, right? You're like, you're more up by shout out to Eddie Yeagan. By the way, if you want jiu-jitsu lessons, just go on Facebook. Hit me up. I'll get you hooked up with Eddie Yeagan. Great job. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's been a solid weekend. It's hot as fuck, as it tends to be. I will tell you before we went on air, I went out to breakfast yesterday morning, and it was a full restaurant, so we had to kind of like wait outside for a little bit, and holy hot damn, we were melting. So, doing my best to stay indoors, at least when the sun is blasting, until it comes down, of course. But nonetheless, good weekend still so far.
Yeah, more or less. It's been really good. I'm actually disappointed. It's been so hot. We've had 2 great nights of like free concerts for me. I wasn't willing to go. It's just too hot. It's just too hot. And they were good free concerts. I had House of Blues tickets for a cover band on Friday. Somebody hit me up to go to the last week of the Raiders thing. And then yesterday, just down the street, I could have went to see another cover band. I'm like, it's like 8 o'clock and it's cold, kind of with the AC on. I'm going to bed. I'll watch the fights in the morning. And that was kind of my attitude about yesterday. It was just plain hot. Andrew, how is Tracy?
Tracy is hot. Yes, sir. Was supposed to be on call. Had a young mechanic say he wanted some extra hours. Took my on call. So it's been a great weekend for me. I got my weekend back.
Did you? Did you actually have fun, barbecue, drink a couple of brews, and actually chill out for a change?
Yes, my niece's baby shower was yesterday, so that's where all the family was at.
Oh my God, you got an actual day at home alone.
No, I went to the baby shower.
Oh, okay.
I went to the baby.
What?
It was one of those co-ed baby showers.
Did you eat a candy bar out of a diaper?
No, fuck no.
And by the way, that's
way
inside for anyone who doesn't know that stuff. That's an actual game. Name the candy bar. Jeez.
Yeah, no, there was just we just drank beer.
Thank God. Yeah, right. Was there good food at least? I mean, that would kind of be my.
Yes,
will there be food?
Yes, there was.
Were there at least somewhat knowledgeable boxing people there, so you didn't lose your mind, Andrew?
No, I didn't talk too much boxing. My brother was there. I had a brother and a cousin there, so we were good.
Your brother thinks I'm a lunatic, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yes.
I know.
Thinks I'm a lunatic. I don't even think my brother thinks I'm
lunatics.
Yeah.
I've moved to Vegas. I'm slowly moving you to Vegas. We're all going to be here eventually. Actually, Dana White in a GQ interview said, you know what? I don't care what anybody says about New York. He goes, I'll tell you the truth. All the big fights, period, like fighting in general, it's Vegas. He goes, but Abu Dhabi's coming strong. He goes, what they got planned for the next 10 years is kind of frightening. They're going to make every effort to get every big fight, period. I don't blame them. They got the money. What else are they going to spend it on? The world's collapsing. We might as well have good fights. I mean, maybe we'll get Tyson Fury versus it's going to be in Abu Dhabi. Let's all just take a deep breath. It's not coming to Vegas. It's not going to be in England.
Well, And it kind of belongs in Abu Dhabi, right? That those two fighters, they're not really crossover. You know, Tyson Fury possibly has a fan base that follows them, but for the prices that they're going to be putting up on the Usyk, I think they have to go with the guaranteed money. And right now, that's Abu Dhabi.
He's going to want 50 million. They're each going to want 50 million minimum. Why wouldn't they?
And unfortunately, to those guys over there, that ain't shit. You know, so that's why this is happening the way it is right now. I believe, Lee, when sports in general get back to what it used to be, and people are out traveling and going back to these events, these smaller fights, not all the just the Super Bowls are going to Abu Dhabi. Some of the smaller fights are even going out there now. I think it will eventually come back to the States because there's a lot of money here still. There's a lot of money. I mean, when Vegas shuts down, literally casinos are doing head counts to get into the building.
Yeah.
I don't know if Abu Dhabi can make that up. You know, they have money. They're willing to put a guaranteed purse out there, but can they bring as much as a closed, main event in Las Vegas that shuts the city down? We haven't seen that yet. We have put it like this. The next Floyd Mayweather or Oscar De La Hoya is really going to determine where America is in boxing, because if one of those type of stars starts going over there for money, then yeah, we're in a real bad place. But as long as they're stealing, the Tyson Furies and the Anthony Joshuas, I think we're all right still.
Yeah, no, but no. What the hell was that? It's like I'm answering my own question. In a couple of weeks, we have Canelo Triple G here in Vegas, right? I don't expect us to get approved because you take
really,
a breath.
Like,
all right.
Not even
really?
the whatchamacallit, like the media room, like that, even the media room, you don't think?
We'll see. All right. Stay hopeful, young man.
All right. Yes.
But my point, Andrew, is that Miguel and I can certainly be on the street and compare it, right? And see if people are in town, or I think this is time to bring back, Andrew. Do you know there's a fight this weekend? Yes, if you're not a longtime Fight Net Radio listener, let me tell you about something Andrew and I used to do, which got me into a lot of trouble back in the day. Asking people random questions, about the fight, and I'm using air quotes quietly to myself, like, hey, do you think Muhammad Ali is going to beat Oscar De La Hoya this weekend? And we would literally have drunk girls going, oh, yeah, I think Oscar's going to beat him. Totally. Thanks. Have fun tonight, you two. So I think Miguel and I might go do some roving street things during the week. Maybe go check out some press conferences. Maybe get you guys some fresh, get to know your fight fans. We don't really need anything for that. The way they've got it all structured now, Miguel, I think we can handle this bad boy.
Okay, fair enough.
We can get what we want. And let's be honest, do we really want to go over there and fight with that crowd?
Maybe.
Really?
Yeah,
yes.
If you're going to fight.
The
I'm going
last
back.
time that Magna Media played ball with me, they gave me a seat that didn't have a seat. I mean, that is a real story from a heavyweight fight where I literally wandered around the arena for an hour looking for my seat that didn't exist, that nobody could point me to, I might add. I still think that he's poking fun at me, Andrew. He's still poking fun at me all these years later. One joke will change your life. Hey, I'm going to change up the order. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. That's Andrew Lomachenko. That's Miguel Antonio Barragan. My name's Lee Honish. This is boxing. This is Top Rank. Joining us to introduce the next section of the show, because we're doing it out of order. I want to keep you guys on your toe. It is, of course, Top Rank Bob to talk about last night. Hi, Bob. What'd you think about last night? Was I at the fight? You were at the fight, Bob. I went to Oklahoma. Yeah. You were there. Are you sure? Did you see me? Yeah, Bob. You were at the fight. It was kind of lackluster. I got to be perfectly honest. I mean, your main event kind of got interesting. And by the way, lovely press releases today about 1,100 punches being thrown by these guys like it was special, to kind of salvage the fact that, can we declare what last night's main event was? That's kissing your cousin, right? Like, I hate draws. I hate draw. Like, you've got 3 judges. There should be a. Can we have a discussion about draws? Should there ever be a draw in boxing, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this was a 10-round fight. Yes, there could be a possibility of a draw. It was a split draw, so only one judge had it a draw, correct? The other two had it going to either guy.
Oh, they both were all over the place.
I mean, yes, but like I don't like, how can I explain it? I'm not sure why they keep calling it that. I mean, there's a draw, a regular draw, and then there's a majority draw, right? But it's just like there's no such thing as a split draw. It's just a draw. That's just a regular draw. You know what I'm saying? It's just one judge had it one way, the other judge had it the other way, and the middle judge had it a draw. So it's just a regular draw. And every time I hear them say split, I'm like, split decision? Like, no, it's a split. Like, what? There's no such thing as a split draw. It's just a draw. And the only other draw is a majority draw. So it's like those are the differentiating ones. But yes, you're right, Andrew. It was like one judge had it one way, one judge had the other, and one judge had it 5 rounds.
And not slightly. These guys weren't off by a couple of rounds. Like, it's, what fight were you watching and what fight were you watching? And then, dude, in the middle who had it as a draw, I'm kind of agreeing with the draw guy. They were very all over the place. But, Bob, why don't you take me through last night? How did you feel about the fight in general? In baseball terms? Yes, Bob, in baseball terms. What did you think of the fight? Have you ever heard of the term a balk? Yes, Bob, I've heard the term balk. This is crappier. This is hit by a pitch. Okay, thanks, Bob. Thanks for your update. So what did we get last night? We got Jared Anderson. And by the way, Jared Anderson, prior to this fight, right, was talking all kinds of crap. I was actually going to start today off with a press conference because Jared must have done so much press about every single human he thought he could fight from this point forward. Am I missing this about the real Big Baby? I mean, the fight I personally want is the real Big Baby versus the Big Baby. I got to be honest. Can we have one fight to determine the Big Baby? Is that bad of me to want that? I mean, he took him out quick. I mean, there's no joke about it. Miguel, take it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing, the battle of the babies.
The battle of the baby, right?
Who's the realist? Who's the realist baby? But yeah, I mean, like, we saw the same. It seemed as though his opponent was a little more lively. He was a little bit more of a live underdog. He was throwing more punches than most fucking opponents he's had in the past. But he's still not on his level. Of course, he's still in that developmental stage where like they're basically feeding him cans. So yeah, he's doing his part, and I can't only knock the guy so much, because he's doing his part. If you're gonna they're gonna feed him stiffs and he's gonna go the distance with them, well, that definitely says something. But he's taking them out, right? And granted, it's the guys that he's supposed to be taking out right now. It's the guys that aren't going to give him rounds at the moment. So understandably, he's not going to be up in there against guys who are going to give him rounds. But nonetheless, this guy lasted a few rounds, and it was fun while it lasted. It's fun to see heavyweights throw down. We want to see this kind of stuff, right? That's when we expect to see a heavyweight fight, or what we expect to see out of a heavyweight fight is two heavyweights, two big motherfuckers throw down, and that's what happened. And one went down, and Jared Anderson stayed on his feet, and he's the one that won the fight. So great for him. He continues his undefeated, with his undefeated record. And I believe, I don't remember his record, but I think he's knocked out everybody, right? Like, he's just however many wins, however many knockouts.
Bob is giving him 24-16 type guys. I mean, they're all in that same journeyman category to get him up to speed. I mean, no doubt these guys have had lots of rounds of getting beat up by other people. And it's good for the real big, God, change your nickname,
the real
bro.
Big Baby.
Change the name. Yeah.
And I gotta say,
and I don't like the fuzzy shorts. I don't like the tights. What are you wearing, bro?
Did you see his ring entrance? Like, this,
do you know that he could have a fish hook coming out of his ass right now, and he'd look like a fishing lure? He does. He looks like spinnerbait. Like, we could tie line to his nose and just drag him behind a boat and catch a shark, I think. Oh, there's his posse. There's the crew.
There's his people, his Toledo, Ohio people. I think he looks like he's wearing like seat covers or dashboard dashboard cover like shit for trunks.
Bingo balls. They're dingo balls.
Yeah, bingo balls. Did you see his entrance? He came in with like chains and like some sort of like inmate outfit, like jumpsuit kind of deal. And he did this thing, and he had like somebody, somebody from his corner kind of like lead him to the ring, and he was like walking as if this Tucker was basically arrested, like walking all slowly to the ring and shit. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't get the point of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure what the whole point of that. He's big baby, he's flashy, but then he does this stupid like Hannibal Lecter bullshit.
They said they said that was a shout out. No, how do I say this? He was yeah, I don't want that makes it seem like it was a cool thing. I guess his brother's in prison.
Nothing he does is cool. By the way, nothing he does is cool.
I guess his brother's in prison, so that was a bringing light to his brother. It was stupid.
His brother, the criminal. Oh, now I gotta look it up.
Yeah, that's look. If you guys look at his shoes, he had prison shoes on. He had them like put on the bottom of his boxing shoes. They don't come off though. They're like attached to his body. It was a weird outfit. I didn't get it at all. ESPN gave him no play at the end of the fight. They didn't ask him about it. What are you bringing awareness to? Because that's kind of what I think it was about. He's bringing awareness to his brother in prison or something.
There's like a 14-year-old in Texas. I don't know if that's him.
They were real shocked.
Did they talk about it on the broadcast at all,
Miguel, that they're getting those things off?
It took him a hot minute. Like he had,
Yeah, you kind of faded. You're good.
It took him like a hot minute to take it off because like they looked like the cuffs were like legit. And they had a guy with a key, like take a few minutes to like, open the goddamn thing. And, the jumpsuit was like specially made so it'll go over his gloves and stuff. But it's like, I don't know. Like it was just kind of weird and awkward. And, he had this weird kind of like face, kind of like, I don't know. I'm not sure what the hell I would call it, but he had this weird face on him when he was walking to the ring.
Okay, here, fun fact, his name is Mike Miller. Hold on. And he's kind of white. It's kind weird. Of wait. Oh, no, this just keeps getting better. Like, I'm not the only one to Google this. This is kind of cool. No, different guy. Like nobody knows about this except Jared. I mean, seriously, he's the only one who knows about his brother being in jail, for God's sakes. Like, there's nobody's playing with this.
But like, what is that? What is that supposed to bring awareness to? Like, is he innocent? Is he innocent supposedly or something? Or
I don't know. There's like message board. He was just having drinks and got arrested. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff floating around.
He could have just gave him a shout out.
He's in prison now.
Yeah, could have just given him a shout out.
A little bit more than beer drinking.
Yeah.
My theory on this. I admit that a lot of people wrongly go to jail, but even those who wrongly go to jail, don't they kind of need to go to jail? I mean, it wasn't like you just, this is a perfect straight A student who never did anything wrong who wound up in jail. That story happens 1 in a million times, right? Most people who get right.
There is. Yeah, most of the time when they say an innocent man was arrested, he was innocent for that crime, but yeah, they leave out the criminal record that why the cops were looking at the individual.
I actually know someone out here who is of questionable status, and if you haven't lived in Vegas for any period of time, you know people of questionable status. He got just stopped walking up the street by the cops, just walking up the street. He goes, I don't know why they stopped me. I go, because you're a criminal, bro. Like, you fit every crime in this city. Like, I'm not shocked by this sentence. And I'm your friend. I mean, I tend to give you the benefit of the doubt, but I don't even trust you with $20. I mean,
you mean if you were a suspect in multiple murders and then there's a murder in your community, they might come at you first? Is that what you're saying, Lee?
Yeah, they might come and question you first. Yeah.
Okay, wait. Take a look at this group. Guilty.
Guilty. There he goes.
There's at least 3 guilties in the pile, incling the security guard who looks guilty.
You're such a jerk. You're such a jerk.
That's Keyshawn Davis, if I'm not mistaken, there in the front. So no, let's hope he's not.
Are you sure?
Didn't
Keyshawn
him,
get a drunk driving?
No.
Want to rethink that?
Oh, hell no.
Keyshawn Johnson might have got arrested for something.
Keyshawn Davis, man. I'm talking about
whatever. Johnson,
yeah, I know Lee's just being a jerk. Lee's being a jerk right now, people.
I'm feeling myself, Andrew. Ever since 2 weeks ago when you said I didn't go deep water, I'm trying to go more deep water. Bob, how do you feel about your cards so far? I don't care. Let the fighters wear whatever they want to the ring. Dude, he's coming to the ring and like, I know. He asked me, I told him to get out. I was eating soup. All right. Moving forward, did we like the Torres knockout, Miguel?
No, I did not. It was
What
it was
is this
bad.
cab driver he's fighting
Dude,
for? Wait, I don't even know who's who here. I didn't see this fight, but I can safely tell you, one guy looks like he's gonna lose, and guess what? I was right just by looking at him. How is that possible?
yeah,
Dude,
look
oh,
at this.
come
Look
on.
at
How
this.
was he not a cab driver?
They
Wait.
like, I get it. You know, they're in that stage where they're feeding him cans, right? Like, pretty much like a couple of stages behind Anderson, right? And they put him up against these fucking, like Tijuana fucking taqueros, and these basically guys who sell tacos on the fucking street corner. Like this guy's, he's making.
Pretty
They
rough,
throw him in
though.
they throw him in the fucking ring with this Olympic fucking superstar. It's like, goddamn, man. It's sad. It's like they did this once, like before with Siniesta Estrada, like years ago, right? Like a few years ago, when they put her in against some soccer mom who got knocked the fuck out. It's like, yeah, it's a great highlight reel knockout, but it's not exactly something to be proud of, man.
You know what the problem with this fight card is? And Bob, I hope you're listening. This means you got to have filler all through this show where you talk about Tyson Fury again for 16 hours. Did anyone keep count? Because I just watched the fights. How many times did we mention Tyson Fury on this telecast, Miguel?
I lost count, man. I lost
That
count.
bad. Andrew, what'd you think of Torres? You're an Olympic guy. You like Olympic guys.
Yes, I like where he's at right now. I don't like the look they kind of have him on. I hope he cuts his hair and gets rid of that mustache here soon. Kind of over that one. But overall, he's knocking the guys out. He's doing what he's supposed to. It's kind of sad for Mexican heavyweights. Most of the time Mexican fighters, we look at them to be real big tests. But I think that stops at maybe the welterweight division. Anything above that, we usually don't take Mexicans serious, right? Because there really wasn't too many big Mexicans back in the day in the heavier classes. So seeing this guy get in the ring and get handled the way he did, yeah, it wasn't a good look for him at all, but didn't expect really anything else.
Bob, what did you think of the fight? He's an Olympian. I love Olympians. I blow Olympians in my spare time. Thank you, Bob. That's a lot of information, buddy. A lot of information. And again, okay, we got this right? This is the failed PBC experience of F.A. Ajabaga that Bob picked up on thinking that he was special, who's literally like as tall as Tyson Fury, but he looks like the death stick, for God's sakes. He has no meat and the tiniest legs I've ever seen on a heavyweight. They made good money with Wilder. I'm obsessed with F.A. Like those little tiny legs, man. You can't have legs like that, like a heavyweight, to take those punches. I start with you, Andrew. Are you buying into the F.A. Ajabaga experience? Don't sleep on
No,
him.
I'm not buying into him, but I am buying into Top Rank. They know how to build fighters up to get them their one fight, and that's kind of what they're doing with this man. He has a decent record, right? Where it was one point where he was undefeated and knocked out all of his opponents, I believe. I think he has a defeat now, but as long as they can build him up for a showdown with Tyson Fury, they have done what they were supposed to do with him. He's not the future at Top Rank, but he's a potential opponent for Top Rank. So I do believe in Top Rank with them.
So you're buying into Bob going long term on the Fury thing with feeder fighters. These are basically feeder fighters.
Listen, all of these guys are feeder fighters at Tyson Fury. There wasn't one per heavyweight on this card that made you think he could step in the ring with Tyson Fury or he's the future of American boxing. Torres and Anderson both have major flaws. Right now I have them with good careers, but they're no way are they the future. Torres is even, I think, looking better than Anderson. What I don't like about Anderson, he's falling into having a lot of bad habits in the ring. You guys see his hands are down a lot. Mm-hmm. His jab comes back to his hip. Not a tremendous amount of speed coming from him. His reflexes aren't that great. So as his opponents get better and they break down his film and they're noticing what he's doing, Tyson Fury is going to eat him alive. You don't bring that fucking hand back up to your chin. So Anderson, I really think, and then with him walking around talking about he's the teacher now, he's tired of being the student. Everyone needs to know he's the teacher. Like, come on, maybe that fight with Miller, maybe it's ready to be made right now. And you would have to think that
the battle of the babies, you're into the battle of the babies.
And this is the only reason why. His nickname is "I'm the real big baby."
Yeah, no.
So he obviously he obviously, to me, seems like he took that name, even if it wasn't how this name got onto him. They can make a story out of that. Like, yeah, he did. He seen Miller had his name and he wanted to keep it anyways. So he's the real big baby. So just because the name, the way it sounds, yeah, I think there's a potential fight there for the rights to that name.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be that hard considering that the real, well, he was first. I mean, you got to call him the real. Hey, look, I got to be honest. He's got a better ring pedigree. I mean, I would like to believe he could do a little clenbuterol and get up for that fight. And if I were Bob, I'd make sure that we're doing drug testing for that bad boy. Holy crap. Miguel, what do you think? Did we do it in the right order? Did you already do this?
Yeah. No, we didn't do it. No, we're
talking all right. I went out of order this time. Yeah.
No, you're good. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I kind of getting the impression that they're gonna like build a Hogba as an opponent for Anderson. Honestly, like I think they're gonna build him up to like make him look like a fucking monster the way PBC did, and then literally feed him to Anderson, and then make Anderson a superstar. Like it's like, oh, this is his arrival. This is his, like, holy shit, this is his moment where he's going to become a superstar. I personally see more in Anderson than I do in Torres. I am going to, support Torres, of course, Latino. We're going to do that anyway. But right now, it's just like, obviously Anderson is a little bit further ahead. And it seems like he's the one that's like basically being groomed to be, the replacement for Tyson. Whether or not he actually achieves that is in the story, of course, but it seems as though they got this shit like on lock. They seem to have this formula. They're eventually gonna start putting, because this fight here with the Hogba, it was like on one of the prelims fights, so it wasn't even really on the main card. They're gonna get to the point where we're gonna put him on the main card so people will know who he is more than they do now, and then they're going to eventually feed him to what's his name, to Anderson, and that's going to be Anderson's like coming out, like becoming a superstar kind of party deal. I mean, obviously not a superstar, but I mean like quote unquote arriving as a heavyweight. And they're gonna, I mean, if it does actually, if it happens, which I think it will, and he ends up like maybe knocking him out in somewhat spectacular fashion, it's because Hogba, he's been dropped a couple of times in his past fights. Not, as a matter of fact, he ended up winning that fight, but nonetheless he got dropped. So he's really sloppier than Anderson, and I think Anderson's got enough pop to hurt him. So you're going to see two big dudes, this American guy and this Nigerian, and then we're going to see more often. I would suspect that the American's going to win, of course, as far as that Anderson goes. So I'm thinking they're building a Hogba up as an opponent for for Anderson.
I would agree. Oh, nice.
He deserved it.
I would agree.
It was there. It was real boxing. I like that.
I would agree to that he's possible opponent for Anderson. I'm kind of questioning though that would be his step out into superstardom. And I think they have to get a belt, some kind of vacant belt, once these things get torn apart under him before we can consider him a legit opponent or a pay-per-view star. Agjabaga or whatever the fuck his name is not the guy that's going to put him on pay-per-view.
No, I'd say maybe more like a star, like more of a star, maybe not a superstar, but just like, oh shit, this guy's something.
Yeah, no, possible. It is possible because I think it's easier to build him up for Anderson than it is Tyson Fury. I will give you that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, sure.
Yes.
But I'm stalling for this.
Oh.
I'm trying to bring it all back. Oh my God. It really didn't work. Wait, hold on. I hate it when I write a joke. We talked real boxing. This is not a drill. Sam, put down the keyboard. That was real boxing. That was so real boxing that even I was like, well,
oh, come on.
Can I make a sandwich then? I don't know. 3 heavyweights that are never going to be heavyweight champions were in the top 10. You got to be fucking joking me. Moving forward, Kissing Your Cousins main event. Bob, how many viewers? Because we want to have a drinking game. We've got the numbers from your last week coming up. We've been reviewing those. How do you think Pedraza versus Comey did so that we could set a line and let everybody vote online? Maybe we'll even have a prize for them. So in the comments on Facebook or YouTube, put the number you think of viewers. They must be in by, I think they get them out by Monday or Tuesday. So I'm going to say no later than Monday midnight or whenever the actual numbers come out. Please put in what you think. You can't go over. It's like The Price is Right. Bob, what do you think the number will be? Well, we had people watch. I'm sure of that. I got a text, so somebody was watching. I'm going to set the line overs and unders, 299,999. I turn to you, Manuel. Overs or unders?
On what exactly?
Did more than 299,999,000 or less?
Shit. I'm gonna go with the unders on that one.
Good call. Good call. I know this week's number for the last fight, so that's a good call. I'm giving you insider. Andrew, Andrea, Arika, whatever the hell I call you. I can't keep up with Lee's jokes. Overs or unders, Andrew?
Yeah, definitely. When I seen the main event was Pedraza from Puerto Rico versus Comey.
I'll be impressed.
From Africa. Yeah, the problem with this main event is both guys are journeymen, gatekeepers. Pedraza, while he comes from Puerto Rico, it's a big community in boxing. They usually support their fighters.
Why was
they are very much like the Mexican fan base.
Has anybody,
once we know that.
Why is it in Oklahoma, Andrew?
I don't fucking care. Who cares? Because it was cheap. No one cared. I wasn't talking about Oklahoma.
I know. Go ahead. I didn't want to lose my train of thought.
Killed things, dude. Where was I going with that?
Well, we're going with both of these guys. Yeah. Go.
It's sort of like the Canelo thing. Once the fan base knows that you're not the next Felix Trinidad, you're not the next Miguel Cotto, they're not tuning in to your main event. So I think this fight is going to be really low on the viewership. And it's not a good thing for, we brought this up about the viewership last week on ESPN and Top Rank. What boxing fans need to understand is Top Rank is not leading ESPN in viewerships. That 913,000 that Telefimo did, that's a great number, but you can't put that up against Major League Sports. You can't put that up against what they get on a baseball game, what they get on a football game, a basketball game, right? What they get on UFC. Right now, boxing trails all of those. It really does. You can look up the ratings. Like the only thing boxing's beating is like their podcast shows. Their little
WNBA. Women's.
Well, I don't even know if they're on ESPN, but that, so that's where Top Rank needs to start getting worried. Because, yeah, you guys, they're viewed 200,000 views is not a lot. And we do that a lot on ESPN. What's going to happen is because we're doing better than some of their other shows, I don't think they will cancel the contract with Top Rank, but the money won't be as big on the next go around. Maybe they don't get $60 million a year or whatever they're giving them a year because, hell, you're only beating ratings of the Stephen A. Smith show. Like Top Rank and them, they need to bring a fighter that's going to get the Manny Pacquiao $3 million, 1 point something every time you're out. Not, oh, you remember that one fight we got almost $1 million? Yeah, the rest of the year was all under 300,000, but that one fight, no, that's not going to work. It just isn't.
Okay. What did you actually think of the fight, Andrew?
I thought it was a showcase for his stable. This was a draw because both guys have a future with Top Rank, and Bob didn't want to ruin that. Comey will go on
this is a
fight at one of his. I'm saying that it was a close fight. They leave it a draw. I think they wanted Pedraza to win. If you watch the fight, they were leaning on Pedraza a lot because he's not as used as Comey. Comey's been beaten by almost all of the bigwigs at Top Rank. They really don't have an avenue for him. The next avenue he has is going to be one of their up-and-comers. Pedraza, they were talking already about a showdown with Teofimo Lopez. So once they started going down that path, you had to know that ESPN was and Top Rank are looking to make Pedraza the winner of last night. The fight's very close. Maybe they didn't have him the winner. Bob decided to make it a draw. I don't know what ins and outs of boxing. It was a very close fight. No, these guys, I think the Top Rank stable is so short right now, and they're not working with PBC. You know, we got this war going on still between stables. They had to keep both guys active, so close fight, you call it a draw.
Andrea, can I just point out another Puerto Rican who hasn't committed double homicide? Just thought I'd say it out loud. Manuel, what do you think of this shit fight?
Well, I was okay with the draw.
It was 1,100 punches. Didn't you read the press release?
No, I didn't. I don't get press releases, Bob. Sorry. Throw my name in the email, please, so I can start getting them.
You get those. They're really fun.
Yeah, please stay on the. I want to be on the waiting list.
Evan writes the best. Shout out to Evan Korn. Kudos on you, man. You bleed Top Rank blue.
But I'm okay with the draw. It seemed as though Comey started pretty strong. He started off pretty strong, and he kind of slowed down towards the end. And there's where Pedraza kind of picked it up. And I assumed that was kind of Pedraza's plan to begin with, not to come out that strong, but kind of like let Comey kind of like gas himself out a little bit, because Comey's kind of a buff dude. You know, the guy's pretty ripped, so I'm thinking he's got a little bit more mass than he probably needs. So he's going to slow down towards the latter half of the fight, and that's pretty much what ended up happening. And Pedraza kind of took over from then. There was a couple of times there was a headbutt in this fight that supposedly caused a cut, I think in either around Comey's left eye. Several replays show that actually wasn't the case. It looked like Pedraza's head kind of like grazed or hit Comey's like right side of the face. So I'm not sure how it even reached his left eye. But I think it was Pedraza's corner who was like, claiming like, no, it was a shot, it was a punch. And then Timothy Brady's like, oh, okay, now they're crazy now they're crazy. It's like, dude, did you just not watch the fucking replay, motherfucker? Right, like, clearly it wasn't a goddamn headbutt to the left. So anyway, I'm fine with the draw.
You know how much that headbutt cost me? $50,000. Jeez. You know how hard it is to get one of my guys to run around the ring and take care of that? You got to be throwing cash big. Just thought I'd say that.
I'm sure it is. Thank you for the insight, Bob.
What
I was expecting. I actually thought this was going to be like a showcase for Comey. I thought they were probably trying to set up Comey and Teofimo rematch or something. But since they're now 140, but I guess it appears as though it's going to be Pedraza. I mean, Pedraza looked better in this fight. Yes, there were a couple of times where Comey, it looked like he almost had him like slightly hurt. But Pedraza's a veteran. He knows what the fuck he's doing, and he came out with I think, which. If the fight should have gone in either direction, I think it should have gone towards Pedraza. But it's pretty obvious that they were trying to be polite to both these guys and not give up, because they were the commentators, both John Testosterone, or it wasn't Joe Testosterone, and everybody else at fucking Kriegel were basically talking about this fight being a crossroads fight for these guys. That tomorrow one guy's going to be like the next opponent, and tomorrow the other guy is going to be basically on the downside of his career. Like, they were making a big deal about this fight being a crossroads type of fight. The commentators, I mean, so it ended up being wrong pretty much, because it was a draw, right? Neither one got the loss. So I think it was kind of a safe bet, to make it a draw in this case, so neither guy goes out, so they can remain opponents for other people. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with the draw. I would have leaned towards Pedraza for the win.
You guys are both idiots. Does anybody know what June 11th is next year? Miguel?
Is it Puerto Rican parade? Is it
correct?
Yes.
What does that mean on June 10th?
That there should be a fight on June 10th.
With?
I don't know. Another Puerto Rican.
What city? Fighting what nationality?
New York.
Right. And what are my Puerto Ricans who have not committed double homicide doing?
Yes. I assume he'll be fighting.
What nationality?
Well, Puerto Rican. No, but wait a minute. I don't know where you're going with this, Bob.
True. Oh my God, he's done it every year. Do you really want me to look this up?
Well, no, I know that he has a fight on Puerto Rican parade
every weekend, but they're always Mexicans versus Puerto Ricans.
You're always. You want Pedraza to fight Lopez on that day?
Oh, I think he's going to stick. I think he builds all these guys right up. They're never look. Are you trying to tell me Pedraza is going to be like main event status somewhere?
No, I think he's a feeder to Lopez. That's why I don't see him being the main event.
I think that's great for Puerto Rican Day. And then you spike.
I think
Lopez's
you're mistaking them for Berlanga and Zanes, but those are the two that are going to be fighting. Zanes is probably most likely the one that's going to be holding that card. Yeah, no, he's got a few he's got Berlanga and
He's
Zanes.
Been building this stable up again, big time. He really buys into Puerto Rico. He really does.
Well, there's a lot of money in that island when they have a superstar, and fortunately they haven't had a superstar in a while. Look, Miguel Cotto was cool. I've been to many Miguel Cotto fights. He never brought the fans from New York like some Felix Trinidad did when he fought De La Hoya. Right. It's so Miguel Cotto, and it goes back to that thing where he lost so early in his career. They kind of, I don't know, it's really weird, but they only want to see legends, all-time greats. And Puerto Rico, unfortunately, hasn't had one of those in a long time. So, yeah, Bob knows. The next guy he finds, the next Felix Tito Trinidad, he finds that out of that island is going to make him a lot of fucking money. They're waiting to blow up out there. Trust me, the next big guy they have, that island's going to blow up because they haven't had a winner in a long time.
I agree with you. And yes, for those that think I'm overstating this, I don't know what the hatred is between Mexico and the island of Puerto Rico that I have never figured out in my entire life. But man, polarizes fans. If you can put those fights together. Jeez, big time. And that's what boxing's about. That's the only thing I've ever said. Like, I just don't know why we don't dance around the subject. There's national pride. There's whatever kind of, if you're white, you're a hokey dokey MAGA pride, like whatever. Take a breath. All right. I get why you're into it.
Unless you're American, then you have to go to your relatives and find out what they were and then bring out their flags.
Sadly, my relative is somebody like Oscar De La Hoya. That's who I grew up with. That's my hood. So I backed Oscar. And Oscar is ridiculous. Oscar never knew his identity. And that's the reality, right? Like this. Have you seen the Triple G comments this week? He actually put out my favorite comments of the week. I didn't include him. The Triple G comments of this week were my favorite. Listen, there are many fight fans in Mexico that love me and not Canelo. And I guarantee that if you go to Kazakhstan, nobody likes Canelo. There isn't a single soul. My country loves me. His country still kind of mixed on him.
Yeah.
That's reality, right? And if I was fighting and I was an Olympic champion, I'd want my country behind me, for God's sakes. I mean, that's kind of what made Oscar special. They all bought in. And then at one point, Oscar did his whole crossover thing. I don't know if that was a branding thing or an Oscar thing. And he went from, I don't know. I'm always confused by Oscar, but there you go. That was last night's fights. Did you enjoy last night's fights, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, it was decent. I wouldn't have stayed home if I had, I came home and watched them. If I had something to do Saturday night, I would have been pretty upset. I stayed home for those fights. But
bowling with the wife. Would you have taken bowling with the wife?
Yeah. We didn't miss anything, Lee.
Listen to back episodes, by the way, to learn why Andrew likes bowling with the wife. Please.
Anderson knocked out his guy easy. Torres' opponent didn't even look like he belonged in the ring. And then the main event's a fucking draw. There was nothing.
Then you're forced with all that god awful filler. My God, when you have knockouts like that, you're stuck with. We shot this during the week, so roll it.
And you know what's funny? There was actually like a part where, like, I forget what fighter it was, but one of the fighters who won in an earlier bout actually jumped on the ring ropes and broke them. So they basically had to, it was right before the fucking the Anderson fight. So they had to stall for like a quick minute while they repaired the ring, and they even had ESPN even put like a little banner up on the top of the screen. It's like, ring delay due to ring maintenance or delay due to ring maintenance, something like that. But basically, like the ring post or like the ropes came off the post or some shit. I don't know. I remember this specifically, but they kept padding out to the crowd, and then they went back to the locker room where Jared Anderson was already wrapped up and gloved up. He's just basically staying warm or something along those lines. But anyway, yeah, they I mean, besides the fact that their fights were pretty short, like they had a delay because of the ring that was malfunctioning. So it was a lot of, like, there was a lot of times where I literally, like, I generally don't like navigate away from the channel or the streaming service. Like I'm watching it through and through basically, but other times I'm like, man, fuck this. I just like switched it to something else and then came back to it later.
I don't know what to think about these fights. Like these are.
It
Am I
wasn't- they
wrong?
weren't
These
bad.
are like bubble fights again, Miguel.
Yeah, they kind of were. They kind of just like keep me busy type of like, you know, bubble fights, and that's really ultimately was what they were. And I mean, in a weekend, like there was you know, like bare knuckle boxing fights yesterday. I watched those. You know, it's like damn.
Yeah, no, those are
you know,
more fun.
something
I'm
else
totally
to watch.
down
You
with
know,
those.
I'm glad there was something else to watch because otherwise it would have been a fucking waste of a weekend. But I you know what? There's fights on. I'm
Was
gonna
it
watch
Misha on
them.
that card?
Who?
I thought Misha Tate was back on that card.
Oh no, she's back in the UFC. No, there was some other people there, other like John Dodson, a bunch of other old UFC dudes. But I mean, there was like, you know, there was a chick fight, the main event, that wasn't too bad. But nonetheless, like, you know, there's something else on. Thankfully, it wasn't a total loss. And you know, if there's fights on, there's fights on. I got, you know, dog sitting duty, so I basically had to stay home and fucking babysit a dog. So of course I was gonna watch the fights, you know.
How many times did you masturbate?
What?
Oh
None,
my
motherfucker.
God.
thought I'd ask.
Come on.
None.
Hi, everyone. That's Miguel. The other guy is Andrew. My name's Lee. Yeah, I changed up the order. Podcast people and broadcast people. Accept it. I got to chop these things up and put them into video these days. You know what it is, though? Does anyone know what it is? Andrew, what is it? Don't
What?
lie. You're
Wait,
still
wait.
a fan, Andrew. You're still a fan. Don't
Wait.
lie.
We didn't
Yeah.
wait. I didn't. No, I didn't watch the game. They have
No,
not
they
showed
suck. They
one.
didn't put anybody in. They didn't put a single soul in.
It
Don't
doesn't
sweat
even
it.
matter. Lee, the more alarming thing for me is that we didn't see one game this preseason. They did not show
I
one.
watched them all online, and I live here.
Well, you
went to-
live there. That's
Shout
why
out
you
to our
get to watch
sponsors,
them. They're
VIP.
probably all on your local channels.
No, I watched
and
it on VIPfrontrow.net.
listen, I'm not streaming the NFL. I'm sorry. Fuck them. They're not getting my fucking. They're not getting me like that. I'm not
All
going to
right,
go
if
to the
I
internet.
order
and watch
NFL Sunday
football.
package, Andrew, and give you the password,
Nope,
will you
not
watch
doing
the
that
Raiders?
either. Nope.
Come on, bro.
Nope.
I'll
Not doing
fly
it.
you
Sorry.
in every Sunday. We'll
You
go to
guys are
downtown and
whores,
watch
man.
the Raider
Yeah,
viewing
anyone
party.
who buys into that package to watch fucking all the football teams just to watch one team, you're gonna spend what is it, $400 a year?
You know, you
Oh
don't
my
have to.
gosh.
No. It's like it's not that bad. You can get the games the next day. I just have to ignore football on Sunday, and then on Monday you
No, I
get
don't-
every game without
You want to know
commercials.
something, Miguel?
Mm.
I used to record all the fights, man. I would record them all, watch them over and over. You know, football is one sport you cannot replay. At least me. Once I know who
Once
won,
you know the
or
outcome,
once I've seen-
right? It's the same in boxing. I agree.
Yeah, I've never went back and been like, "Oh, this was so great. I got to watch this throw over again." No, it's never been like. I might watch.
Well,
the
I have to
highlight,
assume
but
so.
fucking
Yeah,
I
hate
broke up with a
I would
girl
assume
over
it's
this
that way, right?
concept.
Like,
I
would have
actually
to
broke
assume
up
it's
with a
that way.
girl on this.
Oh.
There
Yeah,
was a
but-
UFC fight. There was a boxing match and like a football game on. I go, I can't be here. Like, you want to go to this restaurant? I can't be here. It's on every screen. Like, I'll know the outcome and I can't watch these later. She's like, I don't get it. I go,
Yeah.
well, I guess we can't be together. This is a real thing in my universe.
And that's how it should be, Lee. That's how it should.
Oh, especially with football. How do you watch football when you know the outcome? That is so painful.
And here's the thing, like, I mean, we're talking about a fight compared to a game, right? So it's like sometimes there's KO, sometimes there's great rounds, there's a lot of action. Like, I'm not sure how that. I mean, again, I
Oh,
am
I'll
fight
tell
fan.
you. Great
How does that
explanation is
compare
you
to-
two nitwits. You two were blowing up the phone last night as I'm trying to get to sleep early because I finally cooled my body core down from 100 back to 86 degrees. And I've got 5 texts on my phone talking about the fights from last night. I go, no, I'm going to watch these in the morning. I'm going to be patient. I'm not going to look. They know I'll be there at 8:30. Everything will be fine. So I just crawl into bed, watch YouTube videos, and try not to think about it. If I look at your texts while I'm out on a Saturday, because, well, let's be honest, that's life in the big city, right? If I had gone to that show, if I had seen the outcome, well, I still watched it anyway. I didn't know the outcome until I flipped it on and I went, oh, it's a effing draw. Like, how do I sit through this? Like, that's like kissing your cousin. That's why I came up with the title. I mean, it's literally like kiss. I know this is going to be a draw. I'm so in pain before I start watching all these rounds. Same with a football game. You tell me the Chargers are going to lose, but I mean, my quarterback put up, 12,000 yards. I don't know if I could do it, Andrew. I don't know if I could
Right.
do it.
Yeah, I understand that.
Oh my God. Well, it's football season, and if you didn't know this, Andrew and I
look,
are
and
football
Lee,
fans. Yes.
and Lee, that it's starting to change here. If anyone's noticing, the Rams are picking up a lot of momentum right now. Ryan Garcia is sporting Rams jerseys into the ring. He's doing commercials for them. They won the Super Bowl. The Raider mystique over in Southern California is slowly going away. That is your father's and now your grandfather's team. That is not. There
Easy,
are
one hurt.
dads.
That one hurt. I
Yeah.
grew up with those
No,
days.
seriously, bro. 1970, Kennedy Stabler dominating in 1970 is a long ways from now. These kids aren't fucking relating to that anymore. The more the Rams win down in Southern California, the more the Niners win in Northern California and the Rams win in Southern California is gonna push the fucking Raiders out of California on the TV rights.
Well, let me tell you the movement that's happening with the Chargers, right? Like, so everybody's doing this kind of
there you go
fun.
with them too,
They're
Lee.
doing this fun-loving. Hey, we don't care if you're jumping on the bandwagon. Come on down and tailgate with us. Charger fans are Charger fans. Come fill the seat and wear the blue. I thought it was brilliant, right? But I was looking at the whole thing as a real Charger fan who has been through 1 in 15 seasons and going, you people don't know pain. Like, you don't know pain. Like, you people are jumping on a new stadium and you're jumping on a team that is supposed to win the Super Bowl this year. Like, I don't care what anybody says. This is the first year I've ever seen the Chargers actually scheduled to be there at the end. Legit. Like, they are the scariest team. I haven't seen that whole team on the field.
You guys had some strong teams though. LaDainian Thomason and the quarterback. What was his name?
Beat us in the final game at the game that I was at.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you guys had some. Yeah, Antonio Gates, right? Wasn't it one of the best tight ends with LaDainian?
All the
one of the best
Schottenheimer teams. All the Schottenheimer teams were great. They were great.
Yeah, man.
They won consecutive AFC
I guess it was
titles.
Schottenheimer. Yeah, you're right on that one.
I know that period of time for Schottenheimer. How many AFC titles did you win? Cool. You didn't win the Super Bowl, asshole. I mean, that's why you got fired.
You guys go from Drew Brees to fucking Phillip Rivers, man. Like, you guys were rolling at one point. I got to be honest.
They've had 3 great quarterbacks after Ryan leave. I mean, you guys can all shit on Phillip Rivers, but the dude could sling a ball. He could.
Yep.
And they all could. And now you've got the best quarterback in the NFL. And he's only, year 3? You got to be joking. This kid could throw a 60-yard bomb with accuracy. They're scary. And now you got a right and left. We got Khalil Mack. Even I have to salute that move.
And Bosa.
My God, Bosa and Mack on either side. I'd be terrified if I was any offense. There's your NFL update. Please remember to sign up for the Chargers, the Rams, or the Raiders. Andrew doesn't care because he hates football. That's all there is to it. I'm a Raiders fan.
Hey, guess what?
What?
At my niece's baby shower yesterday, there was a lady there. She was a neighbor of 20-something years, I guess, for my niece's and fiance's parents, and she worked at the Oakland Tribune. For those that don't know, that's the newspaper. Back in the day, we used to get this thing called the newspaper.
You
that's how we got our news.
They threw in the front yard.
Yeah. What are those? No, okay.
Yes. She went back to her house and she went back to me and my brother were talking to her about the Raiders and how we're Oakland fans, and she went back to her house and got 2. They look like brandy cups. You know, like the hard liquor, the kind of small, stubby cups that they say Oakland Raiders.
I think those are tumblers.
Tumbler, okay. Nope. She gave me one that says Oakland Raiders, has a shield on it. Looks vintage. Pretty cool. Pretty fucking cool. So I added something to my collection yesterday.
I'm prepared to hold a press conference right now, Andrew. I've decided on my Raiders jersey for Sundays in downtown. You ready? I've decided to go with a Plunkett jersey.
Oh, that's awesome. No,
right?
That
honors my grandfather, right? The Native American heritage.
Mexican American. He was Native American.
Mexican American. Yeah. That dude's got a big mix.
His parents were he's from San Jose, California. I believe his parents were both blind, if I'm not mistaken, and they went and had a Hall of Fame quarterback as a child. Yeah, Jim Plunkett's a very good pick.
I don't
Should
think
be in the
anybody's
Hall
going
of
to throw
Fame.
anything at me. Do you think anybody will throw anything at me at a Raider game with that?
No Raiders. No, that's true. You'll get respect. That's
Okay.
royalty. Jim
And by the
Raider
way,
royalty.
when you go to a Charger game in a Ryan Leaf jersey, you get respect and you get photos, by the way. And by the way, everyone says the same thing. Is that really Ryan Leaf's signature? Yeah, and I've got it verified by Ryan Leaf. How did you get that? I go, don't ask. That was a long story to get that jersey. There you go. Football season is here. If you don't think Andrew and I are going to talk about it each and every week and watch Andrew die slowly, that the Raiders actually bought a real coach who isn't a racist. So, did you see the emails, Andrew? Jesus, how did he not think he was going to get caught? Like those emails were shocking.
I know. You don't even have to repeat them. Once you go down that road,
I'm not.
you're out.
I'm just saying they're all out there. I'm like, dude, what were you thinking? You had the honeypot of jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Miguel, join football. It'll be fun for you. We do talk about boxing here. And if you're watching videos going, hey, how did it just hard cut back into news stories? Well, you should listen to our audio broadcast by going to boxingtonight.io. You can scroll down and find many different ways to listen to our show. Follow Miguel, follow me. All those different buttons take you somewhere. We're broadcast all over the place. We literally think the show's kind of blowing up, and I appreciate all the fans. And I love the fact that you guys all love Get to Know the Fight Fan that Miguel and I backed into. Even Miguel's Spanish-only version actually had really good run. I'm really proud of all of that. We'll keep doing it. I will keep not getting seats. We're fighting on radio.
You got not with that attitude. Jeez.
I'm thinking of just starting to buy seats. At this point, I'm just buying seats. I'm just going to start buying seats for the fights I want to go to. Let's talk about the news this week. Devin Haney, George Kambosos is official. I didn't like the first one. All right. I don't know why I'm so uninterested with this, mainly because I watched the first fight and I was uninterested while I watched the fight. Tell me what. So Kambosos claims because I knew I had a rematch clause, I didn't have that do or die attitude. That's not what I saw in the first fight, Miguel. I saw a guy that was clearly being outboxed.
Yes, very clearly, You know, and I don't know, maybe I was
like
being
boringly
too hard.
so, like it was lopsided.
I mean, there was a couple of times where, you know, at the very least at the beginning, where Kambosos looked like he was keeping up, but as the fight went on, and you know, Max Kellerman has said this several times, and you know, I agree. I'm sure someone else has said it, but I heard it specifically through him. Yeah, he is. He's got that Max on boxing show on ESPN, so he still got it. But he said it a few times, and he says, "Class tells over time," you know, and he says that, and at first when I first heard that, I didn't quite understand what he meant, but you know, you start to understand, you know, at the very beginning, it's not, you know, clear who might be getting the upper hand, and then as the fight goes on, you start saying, oh yeah, this guy, you know, is getting the upper hand, and it was Haney in this particular case. So I think at the very beginning, Kambosos was doing very well and enough to keep up, but as the fight went on, it was all Haney after that. And you know, I don't know, I just I was a little too hard on Kambosos. I was expecting like a different kind of Kambosos, like the one that we saw against Teofimo, like that kind of animal kind of thing. Like, I guess the challenger mentality. In this fight, you know, he was a champion prior to losing, of course, but nonetheless, I'm expecting maybe in the rematch a little bit different Kambosos, although frankly, I'm not sure. Nothing that I saw in that first fight would lead me to believe that we're going to see a different Kambosos in the rematch. But, you know, who knows? You know, maybe he comes out a little bit different. Maybe it comes out a little bit more aggressive. I'm not entirely sure what the game plan will be there. But if I'm not mistaken, it is going to be in Melbourne. Oh, yeah, it says right there in the headline, Melbourne. So
yeah,
he's
right
got
there.
home court. You know, he's got home court or home field again, you know. So
Because it'll sell more. Nobody.
Yeah,
what, does Haney have a hometown?
I'm not sure. I'm out of. I know he lives here in Vegas, but I just don't know if he's from here originally.
Haney is promoted by DAZN, which is Eddie Hearn, so he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and that's why Haney's in Melbourne fighting again.
Didn't he leave? I thought he's in Top Rank now. No or no?
Okay. Well, let's look at this realistically. All right. So you fight Kambosos, and you're fighting literally in an outdoor stadium, right? You fight Haney in Las Vegas, which is where he trains. You're fighting at the Virgin Hotel, for God's sakes. Maybe the South Coast. Like, this doesn't fill T-Mobile. It doesn't even fill the MGM in my mind.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, the MGM holds roughly 15,000 for like a wrestling or a boxing event or UFC card. So
This
there's
would
no
have
way.
to be like Park
Not here,
Plaza
at
or
least.
something, like 2,000
Yes, it'll
seats
have
or
to be.
3,000 seats.
Exactly, or some like outdoor venue or something, or basically like the Resorts World that we went to. That wouldn't be too
Yeah,
bad.
I like that.
Maybe that's a little.
Well, they don't charge a lot for the tent. It works out well.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, like, again, I'm not sure what Kambosos plans to do in that rematch. Hopefully, he comes out with a better plan. He has home court behind him or home field, whatever. So at the very least, he's got that going for him. But man, I don't see what Kambosos can do differently. I hope that this is the end. If Haney wins and that's it, he moves on to somebody else, and some other top lightweight, and we get to see maybe him and Gervonta or something like that. Something along those lines after this fight. But nonetheless, I'm excited to see it. That first fight, yes. It was. We want the best fighting the best, right? And these guys are still the best, considered the best. I don't see the reason for the rematch, but nonetheless, we're gonna get it again. Cool. I'm down with it. I'll watch it.
Andrew, as a shocking point, the fight we have coming up this weekend with Luis Ortiz, right, and Andy Ruiz is on pay-per-view. This fight is barely ESPN, and this is an undisputed lineal championship fight. Like, what am I missing about boxing right now?
Maybe it's a fight that Top Rank needed to have on ESPN, right? It could be somewhere where it's not going to make enough money on pay-per-view, so you got to bring it to ESPN. And they kind of need the views. They could use a big fight on ESPN. Like I keep saying, these little fights bringing in 200, 300,000 views, even Terrence Crawford was a part of that list, is not going to cut it. So I have no problem with them doing that. I thought that's why he was getting the ESPN flat platform, was to bring these fighters there and get them bigger names in America, then switch them to a ESPN pay-per-view situation. But I don't think Devin Haney's ready. I believe he's co-promoted by both, but he is a Eddie Hearn fighter. He comes from their stable, and that's why his fan base is limited in America. They haven't done a good job of building him up. They haven't put him at a location in Las Vegas or even Oakland, California, somewhere where they could build him in the Bay Area. They've kept him fighting everywhere else on these stupid DAZN cards that are in weird places, and so he's he does not have a fan base. I think Devin Haney would have been better off with Top Rank a long time ago.
There are two fighters that I worry the most about, which is Haney and Josh Taylor. I don't know if I included the story, but Josh Taylor dropped his IBF title. Like, you became the undisputed champion. You got all the belts. I got Haney, who has to go into the backyard of Kambosos to go. What could he be making? 10 or 15 million for this fight? Maybe. Let's see.
No, that's way overboard. Yeah, there's no.
What do you think he's making for this fight?
We're talking about Haney,
2 or 3.
No, let's talk about Haney. Yeah, as the champion. What's his guaranteed
he's going to be making. Well, here's the thing. Like, if I recall correctly, his fight with Yuriorkis Gamboa got him reportedly $1 million, which is fucking whack. But nonetheless, it's going to be more than that. I'm thinking in the maybe 5 to 6 range.
It's still painful. You're the undisputed.
I mean, now he is.
Realize how hard it is to be undisputed champion?
Hey, but Lee, listen, in this sport, when it rains, it pours. So this kid could be one fight away from not having a fan base to selling $20,000 seats front row in his next fight.
Oh, no, he's at the South. If he loses this fight, Miguel and I are going to the South Coast next month to watch his comeback.
What if he wins? Yeah, you can't. I know, but you can't really determine their skill just off of their fan base. They need the fights. Once Devin Haney gets the big fight under a good promotional banner that actually has people watching the fight, once again, DAZN, not that real big in America. There's not too many people that have subscriptions to the DAZN that aren't fucking diehard boxing fans. But the average Joe, the average HBO subscriber, did they lose boxing on HBO and go, oh shit, I need to go find out where I can get more boxing at. Let me order the DAZN thing. No, that didn't happen. DAZN hasn't had a crossover star. I think where they fucked up the most, you guys, he had $1 billion check. He writes it on Joshua and Canelo and Golovkin. They probably should have really went after Floyd. They really should have. Even if it was going to be Floyd's last 2 fights, his last, 3 fights or so, they should have written that $1 billion check to him to get the Floyd fan base to buy into your DAZN, and that would have set off his America platform. Canelo is not a crossover star. He's not big out here. And AJ, he wanted to write that check to AJ because he double-ended that deal, but AJ was never ready. He lost immediately after getting that money, and here's DAZN years later with no platform here in the States. They blew it in the very beginning, not going after Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, you actually see it on the streaming services about people shitting on DAZN. And I'm not joking about this. Go on any night to one of the streaming services and watch everybody shit on DAZN when it comes to boxing, what they claim they would do. And then ultimately they move to a pay-per-view format. You guys are out of your mind. You guys killed yourself. Yep. Miguel, is it a good scrap?
Man,
Yeah.
I can't say it's gonna land on the good scrap meter. I think it's most likely gonna be like the first fight, to be honest. I mean, if Kambosos comes out with a different kind of hunger, with a different kind of mentality in that rematch, and he's gonna come out as the challenger. Well, he is a challenger, but in that mental state of I gotta get my belts back, and tries to basically win every round, we might have a different story. But I just don't see what he can do differently in that rematch. I don't think it's gonna be a good scrap. No, I mean, I'm gonna watch it, yes, but basically we can notch it down, tally it up as another victory for Haney.
There you go. Moving forward. Lomachenko Ortiz to headline ESPN Plus show. Oh, now you're just ESPN Plus, bro. You're just ESPN. He's just ESPN Plus on October 29th. He didn't even make main ESPN. Lomachenko will be fighting Haney. We still, has anybody gotten a pronunciation on this? It's official on October 29th. How pathetic, Andrew. ESPN Plus at Hulu Theater, the Matrix, the next thing, the old man. What can we give Lomachenko a few more? And listen, give him all the nicknames you want. He's the best fighter ever, dude. He's lost twice in big show. What do you want me to say about Lomachenko? Andrew, tell me I'm wrong. This dude has not stepped up to the plate.
I don't know about stepped up to the plate, Lee. He had a great fight with Kambosos that I think he would have had the rematch if not what happened to him over his personal problems, outside his personal issues.
That's bullshit. Step up. Yeah.
No, Lee, it's a war. He was in a war, so I don't. What do you mean step up?
Oh, well, okay. I've got a comparison now. Usyk seemed to handle his shit.
Yes, you're absolutely right. The timetable for Usyk and the timetable for the rematch of Kambosos are two different things, though. Kambosos and Lomachenko happened before the war. So when the war started, that's when the rematch was supposedly going to be talked about or whatever. So it's a different timetable. Usyk. Fuck, man, I still don't know what happened to that 17 miles. And I think Usyk and Klitschko's and all of them, they do, because they all seem to have left. So I don't know what's going on in the Ukraine right now, but when they used to have all that star power that was behind them, helping them in this war, sending out tweets, sending out things on social media, it's all gone away. So I don't know what the war is doing right now. And I think that's why Usyk was able to leave and not Lomachenko earlier in this war, because they were still uncertain of what was going on.
Or Usyk's a man and Lomachenko's a bitch. There's your title for the show.
That's stupid.
Really?
That gets us nowhere.
It's really good clickbait, though. It's really good clickbait. Oh, come on. I realize your family and all your friends are cringing at that moment and texting you while I say these words, but come on. Usyk stepped up, man. That's a dude who's fired a gun, been in war. He did the manly thing, and he went and got his belts, bro. Went and got him, kept him.
He was already the champ. He didn't.
No, I get that, but he held them, right? All right. You're not gonna. You can't be sold.
No, because it's not the same
Well,
time. I
I
can
mean,
see if they
and-
both had a fight a week apart, Lee, but it's not the same time.
And on top
Come
of that,
on.
we're talking about Usyk, who already had the belts. Like, he had no choice but
know.
to come back and defend the fucking belts, or
Or
drop them,
lose them.
whatever. Or lose them, exactly. And Lomachenko, he doesn't have. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he does not holding any belts right now, so he's not going to come back and throw him against the top lightweight dude right now, especially since Kambosos. And by the way, he hasn't fought Kambosos. We're talking about that fight was supposed to have happened, and it didn't happen. But he with Kambosos and Haney being tied up right now, I mean, what else is it gonna do? He's gonna have to keep this is gonna be one of those COVID bubble fights. It's gonna be a keep me busy fight, so we can see what happens after the Kambosos and Haney rematch. So yeah, I don't blame him for this one. It's a keep me busy fight, so be it. He's coming back from war. Yeah, he doesn't have any belts to defend, so it's not like we're gonna throw them into the deep end already. But yeah, I'm fine. I'm totally fine with this one. I mean,
What's your answer on Salido, by the way?
On what? On Salido? What do you mean?
Yeah, when he lost to Salido.
What's the question?
His second fight. Anyone? Anyone?
Yeah.
There was no
Orlando
war
Salido.
then. For a guy
Yeah.
who's literally only got as many fights as he had, right? We buy into this. He's been an amateur till he was like 40 and then started boxing, right? All right, that means every fight you win, right? Your second fight out, you lose to Salido.
Well,
We just overlooked that?
pros and amateurs are different things. I mean, we don't get the same. If you watch
I'm
that
not
fight, that
buying
fight was
this
pretty as hell.
Yeah,
Lomachenko
that's
thing.
a 12-round
That-
fight
a
he was
12-round
doing in his second
And
one.
headbutts like a motherfucker, low blows that Salido. Which, by the way, I was rooting for Salido the whole way because we know the guy is like a rugged kind of dude. But again, that fight. On top of that fact, like, I don't think the fight was what I mean, what was it? I think it was like a split decision or something like that, right? So it was
I'm
totally
not gonna lie.
lopsided. It wasn't like Lomachenko totally got outclassed by any stretch, but it got to him. He's fighting a pro, he's fighting a veteran, he's fighting like a journeyman kind of dude who's got a lot of pro experience in Salido that maybe that Lomachenko doesn't. And we're talking about Olympic style. It's very refined. It's very rule based. We're talking in pros. There's stuff that happens. Headbutts and low blows that pretty much happened in that fight with Salido. So it got the better of him. So be it. But I don't.
So are you pointing at what Pedraza or Linares? Those are defining moments in Lomachenko. Like, what is defining him as a guy that we should keep paying attention to?
Specifically.
By the way, that's my job, Miguel. I'm not trying to piss both of you off.
No.
This is like my job. Like, I'm just not buying Lomachenko.
No, I get you, and the fight with Linares was cemented him at lightweight at least, because I'm trying to think of who the fights that he took the belts of. Oh, Gary Russell Jr. of course at 126.
Yeah, Gary Russell Jr.
So, it's when he's fighting the best guys in the weight classes and beating them. That's legacy. That's solidifying him. And in my opinion, the fight with what's his name with Linares is what did it. Obviously, Linares was a lineal champion at the time, so the man who beat the man. That's the way it's supposed to be, and that's what solidified him. Lomachenko at 135, and I mean, I'm assuming this is kind of the assumption, of course, from a naive boxing fan, but that he's gonna get the winner of Haney and Kambosos. So yeah, this is just a keep me busy fight. I don't blame him for that one.
Andrew, until he fights Teofimo again, I'm not buying it. I'm not.
Well, you're gonna be waiting. Yeah, he's
I
not
know
fighting
Bob's never gonna do it.
Yeah,
I get that.
So he's gonna be fed to Devin Haney. Look, when Haney beats Kambosos, if he beats him in the rematch, that is an excellent start to Haney's career. Would be 2 Kambosos victories and then go right into a pay-per-view with Lomachenko. So that's a great plan for Haney. One thing I got to say, I didn't want to cut you guys off.
Mm-hmm.
Usyk didn't come back for those titles. Usyk came back for the $100 million payday he's about to have with Tyson Fury. And that's something that Lomachenko never had on the table. Lomachenko is a $3 million fighter at most. Usyk is fighting for the future of his whole family in this next fight. He's going to set his family for generations, not just a generation. Big reason why Usyk did not want to give up those titles, and he did not want to give up that easy ass victory against AJ. Now, when the fight took place, seemed like AJ was a little bit more prepared and gave up a better fight than what everyone had anticipated going in. But the guy that everyone picked to win still won an easy decision and moves on. He wasn't going to let that go. So I don't think Usyk came back for just the titles. He came back because he's in a position most men aren't in this sport, and you cannot pass that up. We're looking at $100 million for him and Tyson Fury.
Brought it back just for you, Andrew. Hey, go to boxingtonight.io. Do you think I'm pushing these guys too hard? I am. I'm done. I'm done with boxing. A draw sets me off. A draw sets me off, for God's sakes. I'm sorry. I've been talking too much real boxing as of late. I'll go back to the comical, whimsical guy who talks about too many crappy things. Just take a break. We got a George Foreman story coming.
Jeez.
Navarrete Baez only drew 494 with an average of 485. Bob is joining us on the show. Top Rank Bob, how'd they do? Oh, 485, that's a double. All right, so in your mind, Bob, why don't you give us the base run? All right, under $100,000, you pulled out your penis and got hit by a pitch. Thank you, Bob. That's strong. It's a great joke. I feel like I need a joke alert button when I actually hit one. What's a single, Bob? I don't know, 100, 200,000. Double? 2, 3. All right. What's a triple? 4, 5. What's a home run? Oh, Jesus. I don't actually have any home runs right now. Tyson Fury is technically retired until Friday when he has to agree to terms. And then at that point, anything over $1 million is considered a home run, a grand salami, and as I like to call it, one in the pink, one in the stink. Excuse me, Bob, what did you say? One in the pink, one in the stink. Have you not heard of the Shocker Kid? Can I ask a question, Bob? Yeah, go ahead. When did that term actually occur? 1904. You know that definitive? I invented it. Thanks. All right, so there you guys go. That Andrew, that's about right. I mean, for Navarrete, 500,000 plus or minus, not bad for him.
Yes, not bad for him. Bad for the ESPN though. I've got to stay heavy on that. I don't know what they're
going into
paying.
Football season, right? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, NFL preseason football average audience 2.2 million people. No, it's almost 2.3. We're about 10 away from that.
Does anybody doubt why Prime Networks bought football instead of football? I mean, instead of boxing? This wasn't even like a debate when they were looking for a sport. Can we buy Thursday night? Sure you can.
Hey, Lee, Sports Center at midnight. It has 12 a.m., bro. Sports Center at midnight averages 908,000 fucking viewers. I can go on. Right now, we're doing better than the talk shows, but we really need Top Rank.
Wait, hold on.
Listen,
we have a report directly on this topic.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Hey, I get it. Half of those viewers are probably dudes falling asleep on the Monday night or the night games that are going on, but it's still a bad look. You don't want like ESPN midnight on top of you.
Yeah. It's like guys that are like passed out on their fucking couch in a hotel room somewhere that happen to leave the TV on ESPN because that's the only channel that those fucking hotels get. So that's probably comes from that. My assumption.
If you don't think this is one of the better fight nets, to our producer Sam Navajero, I don't know what to tell you, bro. We are firing on all cylinders.
That's staying with us. That will be staying. I think that needs to come after every crazy motherfucking story now. Oh, this is gonna be great. You found a great.
I mean, look, even though there were 500,000 people watching a cab driver fight Navarrete, and no disrespect, all right? No disrespect, but has really Navarrete fought anybody, Miguel?
No.
I mean, no. A couple of high-profile fights.
I love Andrew under his breath. No.
Yeah, not yet.
Dog boy, man.
Somebody with boxing skill is going to rip this dude apart.
A couple of fights with Dog Boy, and then I believe what was this guy's name? Fucking Joette. I think he fought Joette, I believe, as well.
Yeah, not Joette.
But
Joette.
I mean, just excuse me. All right, Joette. But really, that's pretty much it. I mean, that beyond that, no. And he's kind of he's fallen behind in that. And to answer the question that you asked earlier, this isn't bad for Navarrete specifically because of this.
No, I think
You know,
it's
like
great.
he's fighting. It's not bad considering he's fighting. And mind you, he looked like shit. He looked like total fucking dog shit in this fight. Thankfully, his power bailed him out, you know, and he knocked the dude out. But he looked like complete dog shit against Baez. So I don't know if his next fight against somebody who's lesser known is going to get this same. Like, if people tuned in and were like, "Oh shit, this Mexican dude, you know, knocking people out. He's a former 2-weight division champ, yada yada," and then they tune in and they see this shit and they're like, "Man, fuck this guy. This guy's whack." You know, he took the guy out, yeah, but he was getting his ass spanked. I suspect that if he doesn't fight another like big name in his next fight, and it's another one of these kind of fights on ESPN, it's going to do far less than this 494 peak here.
The ratings that I'm going off of, you guys, I just want to put this out there, is from May of 2022 to August 21st of 2022. Lee,
Yeah.
you are correct. Top
Yeah.
Rank Boxing is beating the WNBA. Here are the numbers. The WNBA averages 398,000 views. Boxing comes in at 434.
Andrew,
So we are not.
Andrew, Rick James is joining the show. What do you think about these numbers?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Thank you, Rick.
Hey,
Why do we think this is funny? Goddamn, boxing, get on the stick.
They're going to be using us as a measurement soon. Look, we're gaining. We're almost the top of boxing. Yeah,
Oh my
you
God,
got to
based on
watch
these
out.
numbers we are. Jesus. Oh, that's a sad reality.
we need a
Fight Net
star.
Radio is
Top-
beating
top
Navarrete
rank.
Baez. What I'm oof. How do people what do people review? Like, they only tell you, Andrew. Like, do people really enjoy this insanity that we put on Sunday?
Yes. Nope. That number one, we're the number one driving show into work or around the Bay Area. That's all I ever hear.
And by the way, number one in Egypt still. I just got the numbers. So shout out to my terrorist fans in Egypt. You keep wanting to bomb the U.S. based on me. Moving forward, Bob Arum is back. I'm looking forward to matching up with Haney, Kambosos winner with Lomachenko. I bet you're not, Bob, but let's see what your comments are. Joining us on the show is Top Rank Bob, and my voice is completely torn up. Vasali arrived in the United States with his entire family. There is no gun pointed at my head by Vasali's family. He is set up to train in Los Angeles. Again, there is no gun pointed at my head. He will have his first fight on October 29th, where he will win successfully. There's still no gun pointed at my head. I look forward to matching up Haney and Kambosos winner with Lomachenko, per the death threat I've gotten from the former MTK people. That is all. Tell me this isn't like some kind of note somebody received for like a death threat. Tell me the MTK is not alive, Miguel. This feels like an MTK death threat that Bob received. Like you will do this, bro.
Like he's reading from a script. I think this fight's gonna happen. I mean, like I said it earlier, I'm sure that's gonna, that it may not be the, what Andrew said earlier, the $100 million type fight that Usyk came back for, but it's not too shabby, for Lomachenko to kind of like take a gimme fight right now and just wait patiently for the rematch, or for the winner of this Kambosos and Haney rematch. I'm totally down. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I think before the fight actually was signed with Kambosos and Haney, I remember Bob saying that he wanted to put Kambosos, excuse me, not Kambosos, Haney in there with Lomachenko. So I was like, okay, cool, that sounds good. I'm down for that. But then, of course, this rematch is going to happen. So yeah, I'm down. I do believe, call me naive, but I do believe this fight's actually going to take place.
Miguel. I
Yes.
mean, Andrew. Yeah, no, Andrew. Yeah, don't worry about me.
I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Rick, what did you think happened there?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Thank you. Can you even get cocaine anymore? It's not even the 80s, but thank you, Rick. Andrew.
It's really cheap now.
But I think this press release is hilarious. This really reads like a MTK death threat. Vasali arrived. He's going to train. And I promise. Yeah, he's going to fight one of those guys.
I've been seeing a lot of rumors floating around about the MTK business is not over yet. And when I mean that, I mean about No. What I mean by that is the criminal side, the Justice Department busting people still. And I'm reading, I don't have any evidence yet, but sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. That Tyson Fury's still not out of the woods yet on this whole mafia thing.
I don't believe he is either. Actually, I'm waiting for the Justice Department to show up at my door and go, what did you realize about the MTK? Between human trafficking and everything else they've been doing? I mean, what do you want me to tell you about these guys?
So yeah, we'll see how this plays out in the near future. But I forget who put that out first, but I believe it was a fighter that is the one who tweeted out something about Tyson Fury's retiring because he's in trouble still, he's trying to avoid being in trouble. So yeah, we'll see how this all plays out. But no, they very well could be still controlling some of these guys' careers.
There you go. Moving forward. Wow, here's an exciting scrap, Miguel. Joe Parker is official and lands on ESPN Plus. Yay.
Damn.
Talk about the dullest fight ever. If you want me to give you a recap so you don't have to watch the fight, it will be Joseph Parker grabbing Joe Joyce, who will be Joe Joyce grabbing Joseph Parker for 12 straight rounds for no apparent reason. And probably Joe Joyce.
It's the man in the middle there, Lee.
Oh my God, it's gonna suck. How do I say this?
I know, but it's Frank.
Because I don't have experience. But I would imagine this is the equivalent of sucking dick.
No. Lee, Jesus.
Really?
I wouldn't know what sucking dick is like, so I can't be like, oh yeah, it totally is, bro. Like you're on your own island.
All right. How about smelling a fart?
There you go. There you go.
That's more relatable.
That's more relatable.
A fart. That's a good title for this show. This fight is like smelling a fart. Tell me this fight is not smelling a fart, Miguel.
I mean,
it's 12 rounds of clutch and grab.
No, I mean, is there such thing as a pleasant fart? Because we're gonna get a knockout out of this. We're gonna get a knockout.
Sweet farts. We're not gonna.
It's not gonna be total waste. Like I don't think I'm gonna lean towards Joyce on this one, of course, Joe Joyce, and I suspect he's gonna win this one. And is it gonna be by KO? I'm not sure. Ever since that spider bite, Parker has not been the same. So I don't think he's gonna go. I don't think he's gonna go the full 12 rounds.
That's the funniest shit you've ever said. The spider bite didn't turn him into Spider-Man. And now he's screwed, and he's never been the same fight. It went the opposite direction.
If he had any spidey senses, they went away after that bite, basically.
That's hilarious.
So I'm not expecting this fight to go the full 12 rounds. Again, these are two big heavyweights, and when two big heavyweights are throwing down, one is going to go down, and I don't think it's going to go a full 12 rounds. I suspect that Joyce is going to come out with the win. Most likely, it'll be the second half of the fight. I'm thinking after the 6th round, maybe 7th, 8th. But yeah, if we're going to see, who doesn't want to see two fucking big heavyweights throw down and then one of them get knocked the fuck out? I'm sure that's what people expect to watch when they watch a heavyweight fight. So yeah, it's going to be that maybe for the first few rounds, but I'm expecting there to be a pleasant ending to that, like fart, like, oh, I don't remember eating that.
Well, because you're not married, Miguel, let me tell you the fun of being married. You can fart in bed once you're married. They're not leaving. They're not leaving.
Please do. Thank you.
I just thought I'd share that. It's kind of the upside to being married. You can't do that on a girlfriend. You can do that on a wife. You can literally roll over. Andrew will never admit to it because Chris would stab him at night. But
yeah, no, we don't do that.
Yeah, of course we don't. Oh, that never happens. There is never a Dutch oven, Andrew.
No, there you go. That's what I was looking for. Dutch oven. I was remembering what it was called. Yeah.
Andrew,
Jesus.
Why would anyone make this god-awful fight?
First off, I'm married to a Mexican, a Latin woman, Lee. You probably get stabbed. You do that to one of them, bro.
Straight up, I know you would.
Yeah, I don't know if you're doing any. You see how you called it a Dutch oven? You didn't call it a Mexican oven. I'm telling you right now, bro.
I guarantee Andrew, in their lifetime, has farted under the covers. She has come to bed, smelled the fart. What? You run to the bathroom?
And if I'm up. Yes, if I'm asleep, that's not my fault. But if I'm not,
it still is. Why'd you eat the tacos before bed, Andrew? Why'd you eat them? Why'd you have the Taco Bell? Why'd you have the Taco Bell?
Huh?
Oh.
Nah,
Tell me
nah,
why I
not
should
in
watch
front.
this fight, Andrew. I want to like Joe Joyce. I
Hey,
really
listen,
do.
listen. I'm gonna tell you guys. It's the guy in the middle. It's the guy. It's Frank Warren's connection to Tyson Fury that's connected to Top Rank and ESPN. That's the reason why this fight is on ESPN. Joe Joyce is a future opponent for Tyson Fury and one of the biggest British showdowns of all time. Now that Anthony's O is gone, won't be him. They're looking at Joe Joyce now for Tyson Fury. So that's what this whole buildup is for. Joe Joyce, I have no problem with them. The guy has done Frank Warren has done a great job of bringing him up over there in the UK. He's knocked out veterans. He's knocked out other prospects. And now it's time for him to step into the Joseph Parker area. This is a great fight. If he wins this fight, I think Joe Joyce has been groomed perfectly for a title shot. They couldn't ask for anything more. What you got is what you're getting with Joe Joyce. That is him. He's a little bit slower, but he has a lot of power, decent defense, and he gets the job done. That's who he is. Let's put him in with the best and see what happens. I'm fine with. I'm going to definitely watch this fight.
You're fine. Keep going.
Oh, I said I am definitely going to watch this fight, and I do think he's about a fight away from a title shot here. Joe Joyce is ready. Frank Warren has him ready.
I'm not. Oh, excuse me. I don't know where that came from. I want to like Joe Joyce. I really do. Parker's what? New Zealand, so they have 0 fans. Shout out to New Zealand if you listen to the show. I don't think we have anybody who listens there, but hey. You got just it's New Zealand, right, Miguel?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Isn't that another prisoner colony? Right?
Is it? I don't know. You watch the news. I don't watch it.
I'm totally a dick at this moment. That's a joke about Australia, but everybody enjoy. Naoya Inoue is back. And he's going to fight for the undisputed bantamweight champion on December 13th. All right. I'm going to tell you why this dude's the man. Number 1, never leave Japan. Let's follow his rules. Never leave Japan. Number 2, I will fight any of the top 10 who is number 1 ranked in any category. And number 3, I will fight them every other month. In this particular case, he's going to fight England's Paul Butler. Is anyone in this weight class ever going to stop the monster, Andrew?
No, and I think I don't see this fight doing that good. I know it's a unification, isn't it? Paul Butler is holding a title too himself.
Yeah, sure. Keep tacking him on.
But not a big name at all. This is not the fight that people wanted to see Inoue in. Me being included in there. So hopefully he gets his title and moves on to one of the bigger fights that is surrounding him.
I think the more interesting. Check this out, Andrew. Amazon Prime picked it up in Japan. Smart people.
Yeah,
do a million views.
I mean, it probably will. Japan, they stay heavy on their fighters, right? Inoue is kind of a legend already out there, so I see a lot of Japanese boxing fans tuning in to watch this. He's kind of being built as they've called him the Mike Tyson of the bantamweights, and they also call him the Manny Pacquiao, the new Manny Pacquiao of Asia. So he should have some eyeballs on that fight.
It seems like once every other generation we get a lightweight with big, heavy hands. It just happens to be Naoya at this moment. And he's got really big hands. And I always wonder this, Miguel, is it skill or are there just people who are gifted with goddamn rocks in their hands?
I think it's a little bit of both. Probably leaning towards just like God-given gift, because like even guys like Deontay Wilder who hack at opponents still knock opponents out. So yeah, I would lean more towards like a God-given gift to be able to knock. I mean, there was this one UFC welterweight named Johnny Hendricks who punched like a fucking like Roberto Duran. Dude, this dude had some heavy ass hands, and it looks like he barely touches these guys. That's the crazy shit. He barely touches these guys, and they go down. So some guys just have it, but if you don't know how to apply it, if you don't know how to land the punch, if you don't know how to set it up, then it just doesn't work for shit. So it's a little bit of both, probably more towards like the God-given, gift. And that's what we have here. I mean, shit, I don't know which one we have more of here with Inoue, because I mean, the dude knows how to apply it. Just the way he completely, halted friggin' Nonito Donair's career in his last fucking fight, man, the way he just froze him, he had that motherfucker frozen and stiff on the way down. So he's got that, the great equalizer. He's got that power. This fight specifically, it seems more of a formality, really. It's more of like he's got
just
all
grabbing
the other fights.
the IBO,
Yeah.
I think.
It's
Yeah, right.
WBO, I think it was. And
he's got that already.
oh, is it? Well, whichever one the
already
last
got
one is,
that.
whatever what the last one is.
So
it's
I
more
think
like
it's going to be the IBO, or
all right.
I think
one
he's
of the,
picking up one title with this fight.
So it's just like Canelo and fucking and Caleb Plant. Really, it was just like he's got all the belts. He's got one last dude. He's gonna clean out the division, and I don't know, maybe wait for one of the super flyweight guys to move up, or maybe himself move up. I'm not entirely sure, but nonetheless, this is just a formality. We understand that it's gonna go in there and his opponent isn't bad per se, right? This Butler dude, I think he won his belt this year, and the guy only has like 2 losses, but nothing major. We know what's going to happen in this fight. It's just a matter of him collecting the belts, and it's more of, I guess, a legacy fight. It's going to put him in the record books as the undisputed bantamweight champion at this point. So whatever. I mean, I'm going to watch because I want to see the slaughter. I want to see the train wreck that will be the ass whooping. But that's really all this fight is a formality, really.
It'll be a fun knockout, certainly. Moving forward, Bob Arum, Taylor Catterall. I cannot believe Josh Taylor dropped the IBF belt. I cannot. Can we start there? It's unacceptable. You went to all that trouble to get all those belts. Just take the fight and then sign this fight about 2 months later. I mean, to be serious, the IBF #1 contender was a complete chump. A chump. He would have beaten him, no questions.
Yeah, I know, Lee, but if he then fights him, one of the other contenders are going to say, "Hey, what about my title shot? Why didn't I get mine?" And then they have to go back and work something out with them. Most of the time, when you're an undisputed, you become undisputed, and then you move the fuck on. You have conquered that division. There's nothing left for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly, Miguel. It does not matter. You move on to the next division, and you try to conquer that one. Unfortunately for Josh Taylor, he didn't look too good in his last junior welterweight fight, and they put a lot of question marks.
He actually needs the Catterall fight. He does, Andrew. I agree with you.
Not only that, I think people went away from that fight going, he's too small for the welterweights. He's not big enough to beat Terrence Crawford or Spence. So why would you go? He's the man at 140. All he has to do is keep winning, and this guy's making millions of dollars as selling 80,000 seats over there in the UK. So he's gonna sit there. He has to release the titles, bro. There's way too many #1 contenders looking for their title shot for him to just hold on to these belts. So eventually they will all be stripped from him, and we'll start the process over. Unfortunately for Josh Taylor, if he doesn't move up, he starts that he's going to be the people's champ, I guess, until he loses. But he will lose those belts if he tries to continue to stay at 140.
Miguel?
So to echo what Andrew was saying, it really does not matter at this point, and that's kind of something that we should just let go. Like, let's not harp on the fact that he's dropping the belts. He beat all the other champions, period. He can have none left. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think this happened to Prince Nassim Hamed a couple of times. He wins the belt, and then he ends up getting stripped of it for some fucking reason, and he was still considered the #1 guy prior to him losing to Barrera. So regardless of what belts he's holding, he's the man in the weight class. Like, there's no dispute. He's already won them. He can drop them for all he gives a fuck about and not have to pay any sanctioning fees or anything like that. So yeah, and then there's unfinished business at 140, right? So there's no point in him, moving up to fucking 147 right now. Yeah, drop a belt, have to pay less and sanctioning fees, and then reclaim your stake. And here's the thing: if he plans to stay at 140, which by the way, it's to his benefit really, because what Andrew was saying, he's too small to go up to 147 right now, and if he could just hold off a little bit longer, he's got potential super fights with either Ryan Garcia coming in, or to 140, or Teofimo Lopez, or hell, throw him against Pedraza for all we fucking care, But the point is, he has he's in a position to kind of cement his legacy. Like, yes, he may not be in like GOAT status, I get that, right? But if this dude could be one of the best 140 pounders, like if he can defend, one of the things that a lot of fighters tend to not do now, just because obviously there's money reasons. But once you clean out the division, you move on to the next weight class, right? That's generally how it is. You go up to the next the next challenge. But I don't mind seeing the kind of like dominant reigns like Chavez did at 140 for the longest fucking time. Yeah, he moved up to 147 a couple of times, but he was the man at 140 for the longest fucking time. Cement your legacy at 140. Fuck it, be the best 140 pounder in the history. Whoop everyone's ass, and not just the champions, everybody. You know what I'm saying? So you cement your legacy at 140, and that could put you down in the history books as different than other fighters who have been undisputed champions. But nonetheless, my point is he's got the unfinished business here with Catterall. If he whoops Catterall's ass, I say he stays at 140 so he can have big money fights with some of these superstars coming into the weight class, and he's in prime position. Even if he drops let's be real here, he probably dropped the IBF belt so someone else can get it, like Teofimo, another top ranked dude who was the IBF champion at lightweight prior to him fighting Lomachenko. So for all we know, he dropped that belt specifically, so Teofimo can pick it up at a later time.
Yeah,
and then
figured it out.
Now we got ourselves another.
He's gonna drop it. He's gonna
got
pick it
ourselves a
up.
unification undefeated. With Teofimo and fucking Josh Taylor. Fuck it, why not? We're most likely gonna get that route. So I don't mind it. We're not dumb. We can see this shit coming a mile away. It's most likely what's gonna end up happening. But nonetheless, it's to his benefit. Come on now.
Can I bring up one name who didn't do this? And I know I say it a lot on this show historically for the last 15 or 16 years. Klitschko, you got all the belts. What are you doing? I'm just going to beat up the next
it's
number
heavyweight
one
money.
guy.
Heavyweight money compared to junior welterweight money.
In Russia, how much money was out there?
Well, he can afford the fucking sanctioning fees of every one of those single fucking belts with heavyweight money that he was getting. Compared to
there's a lot of rich men in Russia.
Yeah. And Ukraine or wherever the hell else he fought.
Well, no, and I think that's the state of boxing,
Germany
right? Like, so can't you be happy being the man at your weight?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, why not do it? Hell, Chavez did it, right? That's how it is. Yes,
forever.
I get
Chavez did it forever.
Yeah. Or Hopkins, bam.
Hey,
Exactly.
Bernard Hopkins.
Precisely.
Forever.
Just dominate your weight class. Go do it. Be there for like 5 years. I don't know, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait until, because keep in mind, if you can stay there long enough and be disciplined enough, the way Chavez was, the way Hopkins was, eventually 135ers are going to move up too. So what? We have another maybe Gervonta, going up at some point. So if you're in prime, they are granted, they're probably like just a stepping stone to the money weight class, which is 147. But you're the gatekeeper. You're the roadblock. If they have to come through your weight class to go to 147, those are some major paydays in your fucking future,
Right. So you get to the next question, which is, where do you move beyond the money? You're making the money, right? So now the next question is legacy. Don't all these guys want to be remembered in the sports books?
Yeah.
Right. So
The
at what
reign,
point
the
does
reign.
Josh go, I have all the belts. Like, I'm just going to book these guys one every other month and just knock their crap out and move on and take one tough fight per year. I think Josh has got that skill. I think Josh is special. I think what I saw out of Josh was special. And I hate to say that because he's not American, Andrew, but Josh is special, Andrew. And at what point do you start going legacy?
He's already there as far as UK champion, crossing over to America and winning. He's beaten two undefeated American champions in Regis Prograis and Ramirez, Jose Ramirez. So he's already passed that test of coming over here to the States and winning on our elite. Those guys were elite. They were both champions. They were both undefeated. They both took defeats to Taylor. So he's already there as far as legacy on his side. And I think that's why their team is really looking at, and unfortunately, I have them winning the Catterall fight. I had no problem. Catterall did not win the last 4 rounds. You can't do that. I don't give a fuck how great you looked in the first 8. You cannot lose the last 4 and then go, hey, I won that fight. No,
that's the Usyk thing all over again,
close,
right? Right? Joshua lost those last 3 rounds, bro. What are you doing?
To say Josh Taylor won 3 rounds in the beginning of that fight was not far-fetched. He was not dominated in that way. They might have had him with three rounds. And then you give up the last 4, you fucking lose. You're fighting the champion in his backyard and his crowd, and you're mad that you didn't get the win? Come on, this is crazy.
He took his foot off the accelerator. He thought he was, because he got a knockdown, right? He thought that was going to be enough to get him the win. And he thought enough. He's like, okay, I'm ahead on the scorecards. I can ease up on these latter rounds. But anyway, go ahead.
No, I completely agree with both of you. I just wonder, because you guys are basically giving the video game awards like circa 1980s. Well, my name's at the top of the list. I'm done. I'm ready to go to the next game.
Well, look, one thing that I think fight fans underestimate is longevity in certain divisions. When a fighter stays in a certain division and dominates for as long as a Bernard Hopkins or a Chavez, your name is still linked to the Sugar Ray Robinsons and the Sugar Ray Leonards and the Roberto Durans and every other great. Every other great that used to be in that division themselves. So it's like what we said about Canelo. Why Canelo had to keep chasing this I'm going to be an all-time great because I'm going to win cruiserweight, light heavyweight. Why not just stick at middleweights, dominate there, and you still would be in the same conversation as Bernard Hopkins, Sugar Ray Robinson, all the other great middleweights, Carlos Monzon, all the other great middleweights of time. You would be right there with them. You'd still be an all-time great. Yet he had this like fantasy that he had to keep moving up and up and up. And that was the only way to become great. Not true at all. So Josh Taylor, he's in a real good position, man. This guy, he's undefeated. He has all the experience, right? He's been in championship fights. He's been to America. He's been in sellout crowds in America, sellout crowd in the U.S. He's got it. He's got it down. You wait. You got a youngster like Ryan Garcia. I'd take that fight in a fucking heartbeat right now if I was Josh Taylor. Ryan Garcia's got no fucking...
Kill him. I would tell you right now, I'd tell you to bet the farm on Josh Taylor. He'd outwork him, straight up.
He's a guppy in a fucking big fishing pond if they threw Garcia in there right now. Teofimo Lopez, decent fight. That's a 50-50 fight. I don't have it going one way. That's two boxers. Both have legit skills. I don't know about Taylor's power to Lopez, but Lopez didn't. Did he get a knockout in his first fight at junior welterweight? No, right?
No.
Who Teofimo? What are you talking about? Yeah, he stopped the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stopped the guy.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then maybe he brought his power up. I thought we were saying that he didn't bring his power up in that fight.
But it was against that competitor that we interviewed. So I mean, it wasn't anything major. But yeah, he finished the guy. Yeah.
Okay.
But again,
you're right.
Wait, Andrew, here's the real question: could Ryan Garcia even compete with Catterall?
It does no, but Lee, that's not a fight. That's not potential. Right now, Ryan Garcia.
No. What I'm trying to do is trying to figure out quality of opponents at this point, right? Like all I can do is theorize because these fights aren't really going to happen. They're not.
No, they are. They are. No, I'm sorry. Josh Taylor holds the keys to the 140. If you want to make pay-per-view money, Josh Taylor is Ricky Hatton right now of the 140 division. He has the fan base, bro. He's in the driver's seat. All of these guys that go to Josh Taylor are going to have to bow down to him. It's his division. So Ryan Garcia is going to have to, De La Hoya and them are going to have to talk to Taylor and them if they want to be involved in this division. And the same thing with Gervonta Davis. Dude, if I was Josh Taylor's team, I would already be going after Davis on the history between Mayweather and Ricky Hatton. They should already be building that fight up as this is part 2. We want your guy. I've never gotten over that you defeated Ricky Hatton. I'm fucking knocking out Gervonta Davis tomorrow. Like, they should already be getting those wheels started because there's a history between Mayweather and Hatton, America and the UK. We have it again. Mayweather said Gervonta Davis is the best fighter in the sport. He's the future. Motherfucking Josh Taylor's undefeated with all the titles in a division that Davis already won a title in. Let's build that fight up. So Taylor, prime position, don't move. You have 3 pay-per-view fights on your radar. You move up to fucking junior welterweight, you have 1 fight on your radar and you might be done. I don't see him getting past Terrence Crawford. Not at all.
Moving forward. Let's talk about Jared Anderson for fun. Hey,